doing that, was that alongside, because obviously it's got different meanings too, as well as, you know, all of these fun, happy, cheerful bits. Was that alongside, or these deep meanings? Or?
I think we found that I think that it was there from the start, but in terms of like how we use the bottles, that's been changing right up until like the couple of days before we went to the Fringe. We had like a dress rehearsal at Bristol the day before we went up, and we decided to change the blocking of a couple of scenes because the bottles still weren't working, because they're so small we're looking down and the audience can't see what we're doing, so like little tiny things like that are constantly being changed.
And I guess in terms of the deeper meaning that you're getting at, that's sort of inherent in the original myth, because it is a tragedy, and ultimately she does always leave her partner anything but a child, her child, which is tragic, and so that was always there, and it was bringing that out alongside the comedy.
So when, for example, did we first decide to pour bottle out?
It was Lyric Hammersmith, our first residency, and it's not. And we had a problem. The first couple of performances we did, we got audience feedback, and we wanted to know what worked, what didn't work, and we did do the pouring out of all the bottles. It wasn't that obvious what was going on. It went over some people's heads. So yeah, again, like we changed it just before Edinburgh to make it a little bit more obvious what's going on.
Give it time in centre stage rather than being incidental.
Did that work for you guys? It's interesting to know puppetry of the bottle.
I think very good.
Yeah, I thought it worked well.
Simple. It was a simple thing.
And I think it was more effective that you were the bottle, because even the shapes of the bottle, I got an influence in your character.
Oh yeah, the bottles are hand-picked.
Just came in one day with a bottle of squash.
Very beginning of the play, what's the line to describe Jill?
Oh, she's powerfully built. So she's a chunky bottle.
I think it's a propeller bottle or something.
Yeah, and we used to have we do have a character called Mark, who's mentioned sparingly, but he used to be like a fully fledged character that was voiced by me, and he was like a really big bottle because he's like really horrible and chauvinistic, and I really wanted to. There's loads of puns that you can put in there, like he was, you know, half full, or like he was full of himself, or, but it never really sort of worked out. But yeah, the size of the bottles and the shapes of the bottles are very important.
Really more. I just have one more. You know, a lot, like you said, like you improv a little bit throughout it. There's a little bit of ad-libbing.
A little bit.
Following
the text.
But does that ever like up? Like, do you ever like find yourself messing up because of that?
Not at this stage. No, not at this stage, because Nell is very specific, even about the way I say some lines. Like sometimes, because you know in our rehearsals we're all mates, so we get a bit silly, and sometimes we do. I don't think
take things too far.
We take things too far, and when we do runs of the shows, we never really do it fully seriously because we know the show so well. But yeah, there are little bits where I improvise.
Nell's not here today. So.
Nell's not here today.
But
so
I guess with the improv, it's helpful to sort of for Adam to know which points he can and which points he can't, because there are bits where it's really important that it sticks to the script because it's more serious, and then there's other bits where it's like, yeah, we really want Adam to kind of bring out his improv and keep it fresh, and so that's why it works.
It's mainly those bits that aren't like integral to the story, where it's a little bit more fun to do, like in the living room when I bring her back off the beach, and we improvised like a couple of days ago, and now it's in the script. The pain train's coming to your town. And then just randomly said it one day, and I was like, and then we were like, that's funny. And things get cut, things get added.
Lorraine Kelly's improvised and is like what she's talking about is often changing and adding.
Today was lemon meringue pie.
Also, I heard you talking about a tuna sandwich when you were.
Oh yeah. So technically you're not supposed to be able to hear me, but I do ramble on. I say that. What did I say today? The seal pups, they expand in size within about 2 weeks, and before you know it, they'll be catching their ass up before you can say tuna sandwich.
It's what he would say. It's what Skipper Mark has written down in the manual for him to say.
Yeah.
Those awful jokes that usually get a sort of
Yeah.
He's based on a real person, by the way. Just in case you were wondering. No, Mark.
And the
He's
real,
actually called Mark in real life. I didn't even try to disguise the fact.
the real company is Aquaphobia.
Yeah.
Which is actually a really weird name for a boat company. Aquaphobia.
So we changed that to Aquaphilia, just for TN issues.